Ruth was diagnosed deaf at around the age of 3.
It's just amazing that someone could have reached that level on the flute and to be about to do these concerto performances in Russia and in Britain with big orchestras from a point of view of not really being able to hear very much.
Today's first rehearsal has made me realise it's not going to be easy. I'm ready to play, but the texture of the violins was so soft that I'm straining to hear.
We nearly fainted when we realised that she probably wouldn't be able to do this.
She asked if the piano could be moved, and after a lot of deliberation it was moved.
Bye-bye, St. Petersburg, Moscow, here I come.
It's all right.
Right.
No, this first.
What, the whole thing?
Yes, it's just one smaller. Come on. And enjoy it. And now this. There you go.
I first came to Moscow when I was 16 and played on the stage. It was an incredible experience, and because of that I made the decision that I'm going to play professionally, as a soloist or with other musicians. Here I am back in Moscow. I know I've already played in St. Petersburg, but here the important place to me. It all began for me here. I feel quite emotional about tonight. I'm excited, but at the same time I've got mixed feelings. It reminds me of my first visit.
Я не знаю, по-моему, оттуда. Вот здесь.
Ваня.
A couple of days ago,
we got a phone call to say that there was going to be a group of musicians playing here tonight from the UK, and that in the group there was a deaf flautist and a deaf percussionist. I was able to get 15 tickets and gave them out to our people who were interested in coming.
The rehearsal today was much better. I think it was because the acoustics are different. The stage is smaller compared to St. Petersburg, which was very big, though the other musicians were far away from me and I'm straining to hear. We are closer now and I'm hearing much better. Plus I've got good eye contact with the conductor. I feel much more relaxed. I'm happier and I hope I still feel that way tonight. My piece is about 10 minutes long. You might think that 10 minutes doesn't sound that much, but there is so much I have to remember. I have to know the piece intimately and know what everyone else is doing. I have to follow the conductor to stay in time, and that is very important. I like to feel the vibration from the cellos around me, which gives me a lot of information. I have to open up my ear and to try and take in as much sound as I can. And I have to be prepared for any mistake and be able to get the performance back on track quickly if anything goes wrong. I've got all this going on in my head, so I really have to concentrate.
Yeah, where? Спасибо. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. It is vital to track my tuning with the oboist, though in that way the whole orchestra can play together in perfect harmony. I can read that. I know what music that is. It's Bolero. It was written by Raphael, a French composer. That's great.
I'm so nervous. I'm probably more nervous than Ruth when she's playing, because I know how difficult it is, how challenging it is. And when it is a success, it's really overwhelming. And when she steps out of stage, she's a different person from the one that stepped on stage a few minutes ago. This is a life-changing experience every single time.
very much. Oh, we'll go back again.
You're the best.
Thank you.
It was better.
We did,
Better
yeah.
than Peter
Thank you.
spoke.
Yeah, I'm glad I picked up, you know. Oh, thank you very much.
Good
Thank you
girl.
for everything.
It's
for
a
your
pleasure.
support. Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
I've never been to see someone playing the flute before, and it's interesting that she's deaf. I couldn't hear the music at all, but I asked the interpreter if she was good, and was told she was exquisite. I could see that she was really working closely with the conductor, and I thought it was all very good.
It was amazing that that woman playing the flute is deaf. We don't have anyone like that here in Russia.
She can play, and she is definitely musical. She can feel the music, she perceives the sounds maybe not the way we do.
It was a lovely performance. She had a lovely tone. She looked lovely, and all the little problems we've had melted away tonight.
We thought she played really well. We guess she was nervous. We were very nervous for her, but she carried it off so beautifully, and we just felt that she'd really achieved the things that she'd really wanted to do, and we felt that the audience here were for her. So we're very pleased with tonight's performance.
My parents are passionate about music, and they've passed that passion on to me. I grew up with music and chose the flute as my instrument.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. And thank you for coming tonight. I'm going to try a bit of this.
You can never be too perfect, can you? Yeah. So happy.
Well, at the end of my stay in Russia, looking back, it's been amazing, from the problem with the first rehearsal to it finally coming together. The performance in St. Petersburg was fine, but last night was just brilliant. I think it was the atmosphere and the applause from the audience. I felt much more in tune with the conductor and the other musician. Afterwards, I signed the autograph. It was fantastic. I can't describe it. On stage, I felt like a queen. I'm really proud. And now, it's back to London. One of my best memories of Russia was when we were in St. Petersburg and I spotted that little girl. She was only 7 and deaf. She was watching the rehearsal. She was watching everything, the violinist, the conductor, Evelyn Glennie on percussion. She's starting to copy Evelyn because it's so visually exciting to see and to copy. What's fascinating is that there's already music there. It's innate. It's really thrilling to see that happen. She's the reason why I want to develop, nurture and encourage children like her. That's why it's so important that music is on the curriculum for both deaf and hearing children, to give them that experience. Not everybody will achieve great things in music, but they should be given the choice to take it up if they want to. That's why it's important that all children are introduced to music.
Ruth is back at Mary Hare now to teach, which is fantastic for Mary Hare. She's going to develop, I think, a unique way of teaching. She's a fantastic role model for the students, and she's very naturally very encouraging with students, and playing the flute, making a sound on the flute can take months for many of these students. So her gentle approach, but her very determined approach in a sense with them also, draws them into playing very quickly.
I used to play the flute in primary school, but when I came to Mary Hare I gave up. But now I'm back again because there's a new teacher who used to play the flute, and yeah, I like that.
What can you hear?
The music, the high and low.
Can you hear? High pitch. Can you hear low pitch? Can you hear the low pitch? Very high pitch. Can you hear that? Can you hear a range of pitches on the flute?
Yeah.
She proved to be a very passionate campaigner for the rights of the deaf children in music education. She keeps speaking about the importance of the music being included in their lives, because that is what changed her life.
Little finger there, that finger there. Push that down. There. Put it on. That in your mouth. You can do that. Yeah. You make a lowish down, blow the air gently. That's good. And you blow it for 2 beats.
It's clearer to understand deaf teachers because they know that you're deaf as well, and they know how to communicate properly with you.
You burst them through. That's right. E, trill, D, D, D. Again. Again. Now a bit quicker. You will get the hang of it. What was your lesson like with me today?
I enjoyed it. It's nice to have a deaf person teach me because they know how I feel.
Yeah. Did it make any difference or?
It makes difference because now I know, because my other teacher's hearing, and so when I see her play, I think I'll never be able to play like that. But seeing another deaf person do it gives me more confidence.
Very good, thank you.
Many deaf people really enjoy music and can appreciate music, and there are many deaf people that absolutely hate music.
I can hear everything. I can hear the electric guitar, I can hear the bass, I can hear the drum kit, and mostly I can hear the bass drum of the drum kit, and I feel amazing about it because I can hear everything.
My hearing students don't know that I'm deaf because I'm here as a flute teacher. When they come to me, it's for me to teach them. The communication methods are different. They don't need to be looking at me because they can hear me when I'm talking.
What kind of mood is that?
Really like sad and melancholy.
Yeah, could be. What sort of colours would you use?
Like blues and purples maybe. Ruth's brought out the performer in me, I think, and I now feel more confident to go and do my piece in front of other people.
If you think stag and think of stag colours, you will come out and you're playing, that's all it is. Don't have to go now, play with Start emotion, see if it comes out and you're playing, then play again. This time you should feel the difference. Okay?
When I finished university, I decided that I wanted to become a flute teacher, so I applied to the Essex Music Service. They invited me for an interview. I played 2 pieces for them, one classical and one modern. I felt I played well, and when I finished, I sat down. A man there, his very first question was, "How can you hear? Will you be able to spot your pupil's mistake? Can you do that?"
When Ruth teaches, she tells me when I've made the mistakes so we can go back over what went wrong and so that I play it right the next time. And that didn't happen when my last teacher taught.
That was brilliant. Your pop rhythm is improving. I'm especially pleased that you carried in that.
Yeah.
Before you never need to. You just play on when it pleases you. But now you're taking account of the rest. That is important. 1, 2, 1. Make sure the bass note comes out in a positive way. Ready and play it loud. Again, I think you've missed one note somewhere.
It's very important for a teacher to pick up any mistakes and make sure that they don't keep happening, though I have a big responsibility to spot them. Usually I know the piece so well and how it's shut down, though I can tell. That's how I spot them. If the pupil comes in with a new piece, the one I've never seen, I need to concentrate very hard. But I know where the fingers should be on the flute, so I watch out for that. I have to be ahead of my students all the time.
Today with Ruth is going to be, I think, a learning curve for me too, in terms of how much she can actually pick up with the hall. It's a very resonant hall here, and it'd be interesting to see if she can pick up, you know, whether she's playing loudly or softly. And yeah, so it's going to be really concentrating on getting her to fill the whole hall, which is very different from playing in a small practice room. The first thing I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to move the stand. Because what I just want you to experiment a little bit. Okay. Just really opening up the sound. So big breaths. So that's the first thing. I mean, you're looking in exactly the right place, which is right at the back. And it's like you have to tell your story right to that person there.
The most important thing I'm learning today is projection of style using changes of my body movement. At the beginning, I played for him and then he taught me how to make the style much bigger by leaning back. It made a big difference to my style. When you play with the orchestra, there are a lot of strings and your style can be drowned out. He taught me how to really project the style. That's what I learned.
Okay, it's excellent. I think you can pull out even more. Let's just try and pull out a little bit more. Okay. Quite often when I teach flute and we come to like a bigger hall where obviously Ruth is going to be playing, quite often it's a bit of a shock to them how much they have to breathe and how much they have to work to really fill the hall. So quite often they'll end up using a lot more breath just because it's a bigger place, and the tonality of the flute tends to get quite high, so then you have to accommodate by just pulling the head joint out slightly just to make more room in the tube. So in actual fact you're making the tube flatter, so it's really to accommodate a bigger breath. I think when you play in a small room, sometimes the breathing can sound very noisy. So then we tend not to breathe very much. We kind of go, ooh. And, you know, but if you're projecting the sound, even if I took a really noisy breath, because the sound is going out there, you couldn't hear the breath, could you? Excellent.
The flute is a good instrument for me because it's close to my face. When I was learning to read music, it was one note at a time, and from there I built up my understanding of music.
I know that Ruth is profoundly deaf, but I really couldn't tell when I was teaching her. She could tell when the pitch was going up and down, and she could tell about the resonances. She seemed to be very natural in the way that she was making her music, and I really wouldn't have known.
I remember in the beginning it was new and new style to my ears. I committed each note to memory one by one. I had to use hearing aid. The more I learned, the more I became knowledgeable, enabling me to play fast pieces. It's a slow process. I would get things wrong and my teacher would point it out for me. Eventually my fingers would tell me if I was playing the right note correctly. You develop a relationship with the instrument. When I asked my deaf friend if they would come to my concert to support me, some of them were fine. Some of them said things like, "Oh, that means I'll have to look for my hearing aid. I haven't worn them for years." Some of them, when they left school, they threw their hearing aids away and never used them again. Though some will wear their hearing aid and others will just watch, which means their eyes are their ears. When I left school, I became more and more involved in the hearing world because of my studies and my music, but at the same time I had my deaf world too. That's where my social life was, where I could switch off and understand language. But tonight, suddenly, these two worlds are coming together. In the audience, I'm going to see my deaf friend and my hearing friend. I don't know how that's going to make me feel.
The opening here. How do you want to tune tonight? Do you want to? Yeah. Will you tune before you come on? Or?
Yeah, at the end of it, and the oboe needs to come tune.
Okay. Have you spoken to them about that?
I have.
Okay. Who's the oboe who will tune? Tim the oboe.
My piece was written in 1806 by a German composer and it's in two parts. The verse is slow and heartfelt. It had a kind of life is not that bad sort of feel. The second part is fast, it's like a dance and a bit like a contest between me and the rest of the orchestra. It's a really exciting piece of music which I'm playing tonight.
Meeting Ruth yesterday was possibly incredibly the most staggering experience I've had working with a deaf musician. So young and so fearless in many ways. She came about 10:30 and we were on at 11 o'clock and she seemed very cool, very calm, and I knew she'd had quite a lot of difficulties in Russia getting things together with the orchestra there, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect or how I would have to communicate with her, but she just coolly came on, did the stuff and wasn't fazed by the orchestra at all and just did the job and played beautifully. First of all, we had a few problems, but that's what rehearsals are for. Brilliant. Okay, a few tiny little things, guys. Ruth should just continue, keep at it, keep the dedication that she has at the moment, and the amount of work she must have to do to know the music as well as somebody without a hearing impairment would know the music. It must be staggering. I mean, it's very hard for us to know or even quantify. And to know it well enough to be able to play with an orchestra and confidently enough to not be put off by what's going on beneath you, or more to the point what I'm doing on it there, is incredible. So just that belief in herself, natural confidence which will come from just performing lots and lots and lots as well as she can possibly play, and keeping her spirits high.
I've written a praise-deed to give to my friends so that they can read what the piece is about. Things like when it was written and so on. Hopefully they will have a bit of an understanding and it may help them appreciate it. This is the piece I'm playing tonight. It explains a bit about it.
Well, it's the last one. We think it's going to be the best one. We're looking forward to it.
Are you nervous?
A little bit, but I'm not letting it bother me.
How was Russia?
Russia? Oh, it was good. It had it up and down. At the beginning, it wasn't gelling, but we worked on it and it got better. It was tough and pretty stressful, but I got through it.
I'm expecting tonight to see what a musical performance is like, because I don't know anything about music. Maybe I'll be able to tell the different notes like A, B, E, F.
Ruth is deaf and she can do anything. Any deaf person can get involved in music like hearing people. Anything is possible.
I didn't know there was a deaf flautist playing tonight. I saw it in the programme and I think it's just inspiring really for us all. I've learned to play the violin and I find it hard enough being able to hear what I'm playing. So it's quite inspiring to have someone who is obviously just feeling the music and being able to play from that.
I'm deaf and I know nothing about music, but I've come here tonight with an empty sandwich packet. I'm hoping this will pick up the vibrations of the music. It's better than nothing.
I believe that every single young musician who is on this stage today, singing in the choir or playing in the orchestra, deserves a personal introduction.
From that door here.
Yes.
Yes, that door. Yeah, you put here.
There we go. I think the orchestra are really enjoying it now, so I think we'll take notes.
I've dreamt of this for years, and now I'm here, about to go on. I'm feeling quite nervous. I think when I get out there and hear the applause, I'll be fine.
Pull it out.
Yeah.
As soon as you get out there, take a bow. Okay. Get your music there. Okay, let's go. Ready, go. Okay, please.
Seeing Ruth up there playing made me feel really proud. I sat there with my sandwich pack, but I couldn't feel anything. I was really disappointed. It was a real shame. She's often talked about her music, and I know how hard she's worked to get her degree and everything, and I just wish I could have experienced her music. I really thought the sandwich pack might work, but I feel gutted I was wrong.
very impressive, the musicianship. And to do that whilst being profoundly deaf is quite an amazing achievement.
Ruth Montgomery is superb. I've seen her over the last 18 months. I saw her in the Russian Embassy play, and there she was exquisite. And tonight she really, really took on what was an extremely difficult piece of music, actually, and zapped it to them.
Looking back, there was a time when I'm really keen to pursue music, go to college and become a professional musician, and there were these people saying, that's impossible, you can't do that, why don't you go and study art? I'm shocked, and as I walked through London, I remember it was near a bridge when I cracked and just broke down. My dream had just been totally shattered. But look, here I am on the stage playing my music and proving them wrong. I've just done it, and I hope that my performance means those negative attitudes and barriers that were put in my way are no longer. I'm going to carry on with music. In the future, when I talk about my music, you will know the sort of style I play. I know it's classical.
Have you more performances booked?
Not yet, hopefully in the future. I've got a lot more confidence now, and there's a lot more I want to do.
Wow, I felt like I'd been transported into the hearing world of music. There was this blind guy playing the piano, which was amazing. All the hearing musicians in the orchestra, it was the first time I'd experienced that. Then at the end there was Ruth, playing beautifully. It's fantastic that a deaf person can do that. Well done to her, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed tonight.
It was lovely, yeah.
The last one, I mean the whole third one.
It was slipping at the end, but people, it was wonderful. Very good. I shouted at the end when you finished, you went, bravo! But you can hear me.
No, I didn't. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, well done, Ruth.
Thank you for coming.